cousins, it's your favorite insurance cousin, Cousin Quan. And open enrollment season is here. What is open enrollment season? Open enrollment season is when you get to make changes to your health insurance. Whether you have Medicaid, Medicare, or just employer-sponsored health insurance, you get to make changes. But keep in mind, the changes you make can affect your automobile insurance premium if you chose to opt out. So in Michigan, you get to choose to opt out of the PIP, the personal injury protection, which is the healthcare portion of if you're injured in an automobile accident. But if you choose to raise your deductibles on your employer-sponsored health insurance, it can make you ineligible. So if you go above that $6,000 annual mark, it can affect you and you won't be eligible. A lot of people like to go higher when it's more people in the family and they don't go to the doctor as much. So keep in mind, they usually put you guys on like an 80-20. An 80-20, which means that the health carrier, Blue Cross, HAP, United, whoever you have, they pay 80%. You pay 20% until you meet that threshold of whatever it may be. And then they'll cover the remaining, whatever surgeries, whatever you need to be done, they'll cover it. So that's where those copays and things come in mind. But keep in mind though, whichever one you choose, even though you're fine on the deductible and you still say, hey, I want to opt out because it makes my automobile insurance, it keeps it lower. That is something that is a personal choice. And if you choose to do that, whether you're on Medicaid, Medicare, or your personal health, whoever with your employer, whatever the rules and stipulations and regulations that happen when you go to the doctor, whatever they have set up, those things still come into play when you're injured in an automobile accident. So if you're injured, you still have to follow. So if you're paying for certain things that you're paying for Medicaid now, medicines and prosthetics or whatever you may need, if you choose to opt out, those things still apply, although you're injured in an automobile accident. That's what opting out does. So keep in mind, although it's open enrollment season and they're going to be calling and saying, we can save you some money here, we can do that. Keep in mind, know what you're giving up and know what you're accepting, because that's very, very huge if you choose to opt out. And it applies to the household. So if you do it for you, you have to do it for your husband, your children, because the healthcare plan, it applies to everyone in the household. And if you're opting out, that's what it applies for, the household. Who has health insurance? Who has Medicaid? Who has Medicare? All those questions, they're going to be asked. So keep in mind, that's what you want to know. Another tip for you guys. I was watching TikTok the other day, and the question was, should I sue? So here's a TikToker. She had a question for her audience. She was driving and it was raining. It wasn't raining a lot, but it was a nice little, I guess you would say, little drizzle. So as she's driving, she notices a car that's over in a ditch. Next thing you know, she ended up flipping, doing all type of flips, things like that. And her question was, should she sue? And now, before I even watched the whole video, not to mention, I love her to death. Before I watched the whole video, I was thinking like, here we go. Oh my goodness. She has 6 insurance points automatically at fault accident. Single car, flip, that's the accident. And the police officer gave her a ticket. So she was upset that she got the ticket. Well, the insurance company is going to look at, you failed to maintain control of your car. Well, how does she fail to maintain control of her car? Because she didn't adjust her speed due to the weather conditions. Although it wasn't pouring down rain at cats and dogs, it was still enough to be slippery, and she ended up flipping her car. And that's what the officer gave her a ticket for, was she was like, I wasn't speeding, I was doing it, but she didn't adjust her speed accordingly. And I go to say this is because those are the things that they look at. Is it fair? I don't make the rules, but those are things that insurance companies look at. So that one accident just gave her 6 insurance points, which makes her now high risk and ineligible. I promise you, at renewal, they'll probably cancel her because now she's ineligible. She'll get a letter, and the letter will say something that you are no longer eligible for the standard automobile insurance market, which means she'll have to go non-standard. And I told y'all already, that's no difference than a drunk driver, or anyone that has a million tickets, although it was one accident and it was a freak accident because she was actually looking over like, oh my goodness, those people over there, they're in the ditch. And then next thing you know, that's what happened to her. So unfortunately, that was the case. But I just wanted to give you guys a little snippet of how fast things can change. And as we're coming up on enrollment, I don't know her situation with health insurance, but that right there could have led, she was perfectly fine. Small little bruise, thank God. God was totally with her because she flipped all over the freeway. But that little thing could have been a total domino effect. Let's say that she made changes to her health insurance, or she chose to opt out and wasn't aware of what opting out meant. So now she would have been extra pissed because she would have had to pay all of those copays to whatever she had going on. And her insurance is going to go up. And she got a ticket at the scene. So you're talking about somebody that was going to be mad as hell. She was one of the ones that was mad as hell. But those, it's just little things like that, little tidbits that I want to give you guys when it comes to insurance. So not only that it's just open season, but also the weather is changing. It's fall. It's going to be some rainy nights. It's going to start being some snowy nights soon. So just keep in mind, those are the things that we want to be aware of because this insurance industry is no joke. But once again, Cousin Quan will always tell y'all, never accept price over coverage. Why? Because it'll fail you every time. And I'll see y'all next time, cousins. Y'all be safe out there. Bye-bye.